I thought maybe one day it'd be a dream of mine or a goal of mine to do it. I had no idea what direction I wanted to go into, but I just knew that it was something that I wanted to try and do. It really helped shape my career.
Okay.
Fans have made that company, what it is. For the reason why Limitless has gotten so big. That was literally like lightning in a bottle. I'm happy to be a small part of a big thing. It came down to them wanting to sign me and then making my debut at Bound for Glory. And they went with it. And then we started teaming. Great wrestler, but also like a great promoter. Nothing's better than wrestling with your friends. Cody Rhodes DM'd me very out of the blue on Twitter and didn't say hello, didn't say like, hey, how you doing? Like, it just said, hey, do you think you could do that spot in a battle royal?
Call it how I see it, straight talk, no disguise. Southern slang dripping, got the truth in my eyes. Might like gavel, every word, lay it down. Coach C in the booth, turn the game all around. Yeah, it's Coach C, he the best for business. It's Coach C, he the best for business. Yeah, I'm sharp as a tack when I call the play-by-play. Every dog got his day, and I make the crowd stay. Cause every week we go live on a Wednesday. Dressing so sharp, that's the reason why your friends stay. The youngest in the game to do it, best for business. Coach C is the truth and everybody gonna witness. Love entertainment, you swear it's your destiny. Link with Coach C, we can talk about your legacy. It's Coach C, he the best for business. It's Coach C, he the best for business.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Best for Business. This one I'm pumped for. Ace Romero, thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me on this fine Saturday morning.
I'm excited for this. Like we were talking about before the recording, like you were one of the first ever independent wrestlers I ever saw or drew a picture of. I met you when I was like 12, so seriously, thank you for everything you've done for me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we met many years ago when you're just a wee little boy.
It's crazy too. Like one of the highlights during the pandemic was like staying up till like 1 a.m. gonna play Fortnite with you and just hearing like you talk trash to JT and all them. So thank you for everything and all you've done.
Yeah, those are some good times. But specifically talking trash to Eddie.
Yeah. Well, Sami too got a lot of hate from you, especially.
Yeah, well, that's because he sucks.
Yeah, that too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So when you talk pro wrestling, you've done a lot of it, but originally, what was it about wrestling that made you interested to begin with?
Well, it was just always something that I watched when I was a kid, and I thought maybe one day it'd be a dream of mine or a goal of mine to do it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, all these years later, what's the approach that you make to get involved in wrestling?
Yeah, so basically, I'm from Maine, and the closest wrestling school that we had near me was the Chaotic Training Center in Massachusetts, now called New England Pro Wrestling Academy. So I would drive there an hour, about 3 days a week for about a year or so, and then I ended up moving to Florida to train to be a wrestler as well with Team 3D. And then from there, I moved to Rhode Island, where I had to stint there for a little bit, training with like Biff Busick and JT Dunn in the Kingdom. And then from there, moved to Ohio and started training with Sami Callihan. So I've been around the block.
So originally you start with Nepal. What days are those? Are those like the Brian Malonis handsome days, or who's the Fury, or who is it for you?
Yeah, it was all three. It
Okay.
was mainly like Fury, Malonis, Handsome, Mike Hollow was there. Yeah, it was a very interesting time. It's definitely changed since I started wrestling.
Yeah. When you look at your career, especially right at the beginning, what do you go for? If someone was to ask you when you first started, who is Ace Romero? What were you going for originally?
I had no idea, to be honest with you. Actually, like I trained for like 2 years before I had my first match. So I had no idea what direction I wanted to go into, but I just knew that it was something that I wanted to try and do.
Yeah. So when you look at your career and all you've done, for you, you've done a lot of traveling, but what would you consider Ace Romero's first big opportunity in wrestling?
Um, I think my first big opportunity in wrestling was uh, having a company. kind of build. It was a brand new company called Limitless Wrestling, and I was coming up on the Indies, and the owner Randy Carver, um, kind of was like, "We're gonna strap this to you, and kind of build the company around you, and we wanted you to be the guy." So I think as far as like having my first like opportunity, it'd be just having someone believe in me and like give me the torch and have me run with it. Which I was able to wrestle um, just the who's who of the indie scene at the time. It really helped shape my career at that time.
How does Limitless Wrestling originally happen for you?
It happened. It started in the back of a pizza parlor,
Okay.
um, 10 years ago. Um, Randy Carver, had a dream. The main wrestling scene was not great at the time, and he wanted to kind of build something different. And we just took something so small and now to where it's gotten today. It's been something cool to be a part of.
For you, if you had to say, what's so special about Limitless? Because you've been a part of so many different independent companies, but all these years later, Limitless first started to where it is now. The leaps and bounds it's going. What do you think is so special about Limitless, you'd say?
I think the fans, the
Okay.
fans have made that company, what it is. Obviously, we have a lot of great talent in that locker room, but the fans wanting more for main wrestling, especially the fans have made they're the reason why Limitless has gotten so big as it is.
Yeah. Especially Limitless, and then it goes to XWA. I'm curious. A few people want to ask you about the first one. How does the idea for Take Me Home Tonight originally start with AG?
Um, we were just slated to be a tag team, and it was cool because we're friends, and um, we were trying to think, what our entrance song would be, and um, we're just going through a million songs, and we happen to fall on that song, and then well, maybe that could be our name. Uh,
Wow.
so it's something so simple, but it was something that was a cool little process
Mhm.
to kind of develop.
Yeah, and when you talk AG, literally right before this, I was doing recording. We talked steel cage matches that came up. For you, walk me through this match with Anthony Greene, the steel cage match in general, just being a part of the whole atmosphere in general.
Yeah. So you're referring to the steel cage match where the cage fell.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I had never been so disappointed in my life, and so angry.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it's kind of funny story. We had decided like, hey, we're gonna start the match on the floor. I'll come out in the entranceway and kind of cut you off from your heel promo that you're doing. Uh, and we were to fight on the outside, and um, this would end up for me to get like what we call getting color. I would
Mm.
start bleeding on the outside, and then have like this fiery comeback when we finally got into this inside the cage. Well, what happened was we're fighting on the outside, and I had my razor blade in my hand while we're fighting, and he hits me with something big, and I throw the razor blade into the crowd. So now we are fighting into the crowd, but meanwhile we're fighting, I'm looking for the blade, all frantic and trying to find it. I think I think a fan picked it up, and Anthony grabbed it from the fan. Uh, as brutal as that sounds, we're about to make our way into the cage. Anthony starts climbing up on the cage, and the entire cage falls right on the front row. I had never been so embarrassed, so angry. Um, but it ended up being a moment of its own. We got a lot of views, and it ended up being a crazy night.
When you talk moments, I gotta walk me through this signature moment. When you hit the pounce, did you know it was gonna blow up originally, and when did you realize like, hey, this could be something?
Well, I knew when it happened that holy shit, that I don't think anything like nothing has happened like this before in wrestling.
Now
Like
you've done pounces before.
yeah, but not
Okay.
like that. Not
Yeah.
like that. That was literally like lightning in a bottle. I had known as soon as like I told the promoter like, yo, we need to get this clip out like tomorrow. Like, and I thought this will go viral. And boy did it ever go viral. We had planned just to do just a regular like, exit over the top rope. But ended up being like just the spectacle that it became. It was super lucky. Like once in a moment, like people in the past have tried to like recreate that with me, and it's never exactly the same. But it was a special night.
Yeah. Yeah. Weren't you on like, I don't forget like what channels, like top ridiculous, not like ridiculous moments, OMG moments. Weren't you on like channels for stuff like this too?
Like for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made its rounds. It made its rounds to ESPN,
Okay.
Sports Center, um, all the major news outlets. It was on Ridiculousness.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't that cage match that made it to Ridiculousness as well. But yeah, it made the rounds. It was very, very interesting moment in my career because my social media was blowing up for months.
Yeah. You were like viral before viral was like a thing.
Yeah, but the funny thing about viral is it's here today, gone today.
Yeah.
My my famous viral moment was soon shadowed by a Michael Jackson impersonator from the Midwest or from the West Coast. So like they say, here today, gone today.
Yeah. Well, when you talk opportunities, especially, you're part of so many. So originally, what were like those days for being a part of Double or Nothing? Like, how did the original opportunity for AEW even come for you?
I think it stemmed off of the viral moment that I had. I did not know Cody Rhodes personally. But like I said, that video made its rounds, and just one day, Cody Rhodes DM'd me very out of the blue on Twitter, and didn't say hello, didn't say like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like it just said, "Hey, do you think you could do that spot in a battle royal?" And that was it. And then I didn't hear. And then it just like I said, "Yeah, of course." And then I didn't hear from him for months. Not a word, nothing. And then I just ended up messaging him back, and just like, "Hey man, like if there's an opportunity for me to do anything at Double or Nothing, I'd love to be a part of it." And then he just hit me back with like, "Yeah, man, you're booked. We're gonna pay you this, and yeah, we'll see you in Vegas." And it was such a weird experience.
Yeah. And especially for a company like AEW, you guys were setting the tone. So how was the whole experience being a part of the casino battle royal at the time? Like a concept like that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I'm happy to be a small part of a big thing. Um, it's actually pretty funny. Like I've been to Vegas at that time before, so it's my first time there doing AEW Double or Nothing at the MGM Grand Arena, and like I remember like a week before flying out to Vegas, I went to get this suit and tie, like a three-piece suit, whatever. Um, Wanted to look sharp. The belt was way too big. Pants were falling down. But I get to the show day, and I come downstairs in the lobby, and I see like a lot of the boys just kind of like milling around in the lobby, and nobody's wearing a suit except for me. It's like 100-degree weather. I'm
Yeah.
sweating. I literally walked into MGM and said my hellos, and then like instantly changed straight into shorts.
Wow.
So I don't know. I was a little embarrassed, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And then from that years later for you, how does TNA wrestling happen or Impact Wrestling at the time?
So from there, I ended up moving to Ohio because I had kind of like I befriended Sami Callihan. He's a good friend of mine, and he had took me and MJF under his wing, and told us like, hey, if you guys are talented, if you guys want to move out to Ohio, you can live with me. I have spare bedrooms in my house. And just kind of train and just be in the Midwest because at that time the Midwest was pretty hot as far as indies go, and I got booked for a couple TNA house shows, and just went from there. Just kept earning my opportunity, and then it just came down to them wanting to sign me and then making my debut at Bound for Glory.
What a debut. Like a place to debut at too.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Um, Debuted in the X Division Championship ladder match. Um, Also, funny story. Also, another viral moment for me.
You're part of all these viral moments.
I'm just a hit maker. But yeah, crazy viral moment doing the ladder ride from the top of the ladder to the floor through one table, by the way. Usually that spot's done with 4 tables, did with 1 table. But I knew going into that match, the match wasn't about me. but it was my debut, and I wanted the people to remember me.
Hmm.
You know, it was first time being on TNA television, but also very scary because during rehearsals, I had told the producer, I want to do the ladder ride squad. Well, it's like, all right, cool. Everyone was in agreement with it. I set the ladder up in the ring, and it's a huge ladder, like a ladder I'd never seen that size ladder in my life.
Yeah.
And I climb up halfway, just kind of get the feel of it, which is where I made a mistake because I only climbed up halfway. When it was live, I started to climb the ladder, and I realized, holy shit, this is really fucking high. And I, at that point, like, it's live TV. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I have to do this. I cannot back down. But I remember climbing up to the top, and I can basically like I can see above the lights, and like I just people, and then like it was pretty scary. But in the end, made it out alive. Crazy bump through a table, but yeah, it was very cool. Very lucky to be a part of that and be able to make a moment.
Yeah, and when you talk moments, especially, you were part of Impact Wrestling, but during the time, what was it like just being a part of it during the pandemic, especially?
Sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. My dreams of like progressing in that company were kind of squashed. It was kind of a shit sandwich. Like started wrestling there, and the pandemic happens, fans go away, world shuts down. We are still traveling to Nashville to shoot TV at a TV studio every month.
Are you
We
in
find-
Ohio for this? Or
um, at that time, I was living in South Dakota.
okay, you're all over the
Uh,
map.
so randomly, right? There was nothing going on. So again, Sami Callihan being super cool. His brother owns a security company. So basically, like, I just went to South Dakota, did some security work, while the world was shut down. Uh, but anyhow, what were we talking about?
Wrestling during the pandemic in
Oh
general.
yeah. So anyhow, yeah. So we're flying. I'm flying back and forth from South Dakota to Nashville, and wrestling in front of no fans. And then top it all off, I ended up getting COVID in May of 2020. And then basically I was off TV basically the entire year because, I just once you get written off TV, it's kind of hard to get written back in TV when we're at that point we were starting to work with AEW. So there wasn't a lot of spots available for little old Ace Romero. So basically at that point, around September it came, hadn't been on TV since May. That's when I ended up asking for my release.
Wow. How did the
And
team come with? Oh,
I was gonna say it sucked too because when I was teaming with Larry D,
yeah.
Triple XL, and I thought we could have done something cool, but it was like hard because we're wrestling in front of no people, so like it was hard. You never really known like if we could have got that over. You know what I mean? Because wrestling in front of nobody.
Yeah.
It's just hard to not have that fan reaction to kind of like prove your worth, so to speak.
Was Impact Wrestling the first time you ever encountered Larry, or how did the idea come for you two?
No, I knew Larry. On the Indies in the Midwest. The veteran of the game. Had been around for a long time. Super nice dude. And we ended up getting the opportunity together to go to TNA. I was doing that singles run. Short-lived anyways, and I just pitched to one of the writers like, hey, Larry D and I, two big guys, what if we teamed up? And I gave the name Triple XL, but we'd write it like XXXL, something different, and they went with it, and then we started teaming on the house show loops, and then getting some opportunities on TV, and then so it was cool.
Is there a match from TNA that stands out?
For me, obviously it has to be my debut at Bound for Glory. Like, what a way to come in. I think though we got to wrestle the Motor City Machine Guns, which was pretty cool. I didn't think I'd ever get to do that. Super cool tag team. but yeah, those are probably like my favorite two matches. The other thing, the cool thing about the pandemic and Impact was we got to film Wrestle House.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, what an experience that was. It was kind of like a reality show segment they would put within the TV show, the 2 hour TV show. And yeah, I was just having a bunch of wrestlers in a house and doing all these skits and stuff. Larry D and I got we got featured in like one of the final episodes with the Deaners. We had this cinematic street fight house match.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a really fun experience.
How was Wrestle House like the recording process? And did you like get to like pitch ideas? Because like you said, during the pandemic, you're trying to think of different ideas, especially during that time, and that was so unique.
The filming was long. It was
Okay.
hot. We filmed in I forget the town's name in Tennessee, but filmed at this house. The filming days were very long, very hot. We'd shoot. We shot all like the non-wrestling stuff, and I can't remember. Like I'm pretty sure we shot the entire Wrestle House season in like a few days.
Okay.
We shot like all of the non-wrestling stuff, and then we shot all the wrestling stuff in another day. So like it was just long, brutal days, and we were wrestling outside, and then it was hot, but it was cool. I was happy to be a part of it. Like, you know, if I wasn't wrestling on the TV show, at least TNA was happy to give me a role and have the opportunity to be on the Wrestle House.
hmm When you look at your career, especially you asked for your release. How do you bounce back? Because since everything with TNA, you've still killed it on the Indies after that.
Yeah, there was nothing else but to do just to do that. Like,
Yeah.
um, you know, obviously it was like it was a decision I had to think about to ask for my release, and then not knowing what would happen afterwards. But it was just, I did good on the Indies afterwards, but it was just a weird part of my time in my life. Like I was at that point, I was, very out of shape, very overweight. I ended up going from the Ohio. I moved back home to Maine when like the height of the pandemic. Um, you know, it was a weird time, Uh, but I tried to survive throughout all that. And then that's kind of like kickstarted my like little weight loss journey I started getting into and trying to like make my life better. Using my time wisely during the pandemic. It was just a really weird time.
Yeah. For you especially, was there anything that stood out when you wrestled for WXW overseas, like the crowd or the wrestling or anything in general?
Um, yeah, again, the fans. I mean, everyone, everyone like in general in Germany, it's a nice place to go. All the people there are really nice. Beautiful place. But the fans over there, in Europe, like they still love professional wrestling. Like WXW has a huge production. I was in the 16 carat tournament, and but the fans over there, they love wrestling. They're not like the sometimes you go like to in the American shows, like the fans can be kind of like jaded sometimes, and they're on their cell phones and they just whatever. But over there, it's like holy shit, wrestling, and people are just so invested. Yeah, it's definitely one of the funnest places I ever wrestled.
Yeah. What was it like a day in the life down there? Did you do sightseeing or anything, or was it just wrestling for you?
Um, it was a little of both,
Okay.
Uh, I was only in Germany for a few days, and then I ended up going to England and then to Ireland. So sightseeing here and there, trying some of the local food and stuff like that. I think I was in Dublin the longest. For OTT, I was in there probably like 4 or 5 days or something like that. Did a few of their shows, and I did their big show, Scrappermania, which was an amazing time. That's to this day one of the probably my top three places to wrestle.
hmm
Um, just the crowd was amazing, just electric. It was super cool experience.
Yeah. What is so special about over there? Just they go nuts for pro wrestling, or they just want pro wrestling in the area, or?
Yeah, it's just like they love pro wrestling, but also like it was special for me to be able to to go there and like just for people to know who I was, you know.
Okay.
Um, it was very cool. At that point in wrestling, I was thinking about maybe hanging it up and retiring, and then this European tour fell in my lap out of nowhere. I got hit up by WXW, and they're like, "Hey, we want to bring you over and put you in the carrot tournament, and then we'll help you work with the other companies in the area." I was worked in England for a company called TNT Extreme. Again, like go there, super thankful and grateful, and then going to Ireland, and just everyone there treated me with respect, and I didn't know how I was going to be received over there, but it was just super cool experience, and it was really cool to see how far my reach was, as far as like the world knowing who Ace Romero was.
Yeah. And when you talk about companies that have killed it, you've wrestled for quite a few, but obviously you mentioned Sami Callihan. Is
Mm-hmm.
there been a moment or something from Wrestling Revolver that sticks out for you that you've been a part of?
So many moments. Again, Sami Callihan, like great wrestler, but also like a great promoter. He runs super crazy, like awesome show, and that's just like a little bit for everybody. The card is very diverse, and one of the matches that stand out to me, wrestling for Revolver. There's 100 matches I worked there, but I got to wrestle with Marco Stunt. And that was super. The crowd was super hyped for us, and such a dynamic contrast of characters. You have little Marco Stunt and Big Ace Romero, and
Yeah.
we are able to go out there and just kill it. But yeah, it's such another great show, another great promotion to work for.
Yeah. Is that where you originally joined Revelation, which later becomes the unit for you? Or what comes first for you?
I think the unit in New England was
Okay.
what came first for me.
Okay.
And then having a little stint with the Revelation. It's all just a little blur for me. I think I was only in that Revelation group for a little bit, and then I ended up kind of like spearing off doing something else. But yeah, definitely the unit came first at Chaotic in
Yeah.
Mass.
How was being a part of the unit in general? Because, like you said, a lot of these guys you've been friends with over these years, but even in Chaotic, like longest reigning tag team champions, like you guys did a lot over there too.
It was fun. It was fun, man. Like, just nothing's better than wrestling with your friends.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier. It makes everyone so much more comfortable, and uh, it's you feel more free to um to do more stuff. You feel comfortable with doing more stuff because you're with your friends, and
Yeah.
it makes it more fun.
Yeah. I gotta ask you, you definitely do have a JT story that stands out?
Uh, JT Dunn, definitely, I would say an underrated pro wrestler. One of the best in the games. A guy who cannot stick to his fucking time to save his life.
Yeah.
I can see JT. He can have his match will be 10 to 12 minutes. JT will go 45 to an hour.
And then a promo after.
Yeah, and then the promo. JT is a good guy.
Yeah.
I love wrestling. I had some of my best matches against him. Another guy that just give him the opportunity, he could do something great in wrestling.
Yeah. So how does it work? You team with AG, you win XWA tag champs. Does AG get hurt, or how does the idea with JT come in for XWA?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no clue, to be honest. I can't really remember. I just know that JT and I were roommates at the time, and we were doing the XWA Thursday night shows, and then that should just evolve into a tag team. Again, like there's nothing better than wrestling with your friends.
Yeah.
Makes it so much more fun. You feel so much more free. I think it's something that's kind of organically evolved, and then we just ran with it.
And then was it you guys that came up, or JT with Space Jam as the theme song?
Definitely me.
Okay. Was that another one like that came instantly, or like with AG you were just listening to the car? How did you come to this one?
We were just thinking about, we just wanted to have like a fun time. So like, what could we do that would get the fans to have as much fun as we're having? I mean, our interest was pretty cool. We both come out. I go out in the crowd and run around the crowd, and he goes in the ring, and do our thing. We just wanted to just bring a fun time, We do wrestling on a Thursday night. We want to have fun. Kind of create a no pressure situation for us. Just go out there and just do our craft and have a good time doing it.
Yeah. When you
Definitely
talk,
me.
yeah, I was gonna say it seems like it, but when you talk stories, you especially live with him. Is there anything that sticks out when I talk about Sami?
God, so many Sammy.
Yeah, I mean, he robbed me in fantasy football, and I was like 12 years old. So like, I can only imagine what he does to you.
Just so many. Gosh, so many things I could say. So many things I shouldn't say.
Yeah.
But living with Sammy it was a little crazy. Just Sammy being Sammy, like he's just in his own natural habitat. He's crazier than you'd think. I'd wake up almost most mornings with Sammy opening my door really fast and screaming to wake me up. Um, you know, it was fun. Living in the Midwest was a good time. Um, but I'm glad I don't live there anymore.
When you talk wrestling in the Midwest compared to New England, is there any strong points down there, or maybe that New England has that the Midwest, or differences you think, or the crowds or anything?
I just think it's based off the talent.
Okay.
At that time, Midwest was popping and a lot of great talent. And then I think now, you know, for sure, New England, the talent pool here is crazy. Not
Mhm.
saying it's not good in the Midwest right now, but just right now, New England's really the hot spot.
Yeah. And then when you talk about it, you did everything for all these companies, coming back, Limitless Wrestling for you originally. What is it like just being a part of and winning the Vacationland Cup?
It was another good experience. At that time too, like I'm still 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 kind of at my heaviest weight. I'm still trying to focus on that, but just being able to be a part of that tournament and again wrestle with my friends and have the company um, believe in me to help have me be in that tournament and win. Like it was just an awesome experience.
And then being the Limitless champion, being the guy, seeing Limitless Wrestling from the ground up to what it's become and even still killing it. For you to be one of the Limitless Wrestling champions, for you, what did that mean originally?
Oh, it meant everything.
Yeah.
That's mostly because my mom goes to the shows and she'd be like, "Why they never let you win?" So finally being able to win the championship in front of her was everything. It was
Yeah.
good feeling moment.
Yeah. And then when you talk about it nowadays, I interviewed one of them before, Adam Booker. For you, how does the idea come for Pine State Wrestling originally?
Again, Randy Carver, uh, they ran a school up north in Bangor. Um, kind of like it was kind of like not dying down, but like just the talent pool up there is different from the talent pool in Southern Maine. The school being 2.5 hours up north in Maine. Down here in Southern Maine, just like we all figure like it's the best idea to um try to build something to have attached to Limitless. And then just being down in Southern Maine, there's just more opportunities for everybody,
Hmm.
and the school is thriving now. We got like 20, 25 students, been open for like 4 months, and everyone's progressing and having Adam Booker there and Hazard. It's just a good little mix to hopefully help create some of the next um, stars for Limitless Wrestling.
Did you always want to give back and train?
Yeah, I always if anyone ever asked me, I would definitely be down to help. To help train. It's definitely a role I've come to start loving. I like being a coach. I like seeing. I really like seeing someone who is brand new, who's never wrestled in a day in their life, and from where they started now, from day one to now, and seeing these kids, especially like seeing like a baby walk for the first time. They just
Yeah.
step by step, and
Yeah.
seeing the kids progress is super cool.
Yeah. So when you talk about your journey, especially, you mentioned originally after the pandemic, or it was right around the TNA release, that you were at your heaviest or whatever, and you're trying to progress and everything. When was the time that you really locked in? Because especially in social media, you've been killing it these past few months, especially.
Yeah, it's been like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, these past few months, like I've certainly have like dialed in all my training and stuff like that. But just, it's been a hell of a journey. It's been right now we're going on a hard 2 years where like the first year I lost 200 pounds in a year. And now I'm in the second part of this journey where now I'm like right around like 350, and my highest I was 555. So I'm just locked in now, and I'm trying to get from where I am now to under 300 pounds, and then see what happens from there.
Well, was there like a defining moment for you in your career that you decided it was time, or was just like over time that you was like now is the time to lock in, or how did you go about it?
It just became a personal like health thing. Like, you'd be surprised that even at that weight, my health wasn't that bad, but
Mhm.
I lucky enough, I didn't have any major health stuff. But where I'm 35 now, like, um I didn't want to run into anything down the road. I could tell that it was starting to affect my wrestling and just my overall well-being of life. So it was time to make the change.
Yeah. When you look at Ace Romero's career, I'm curious, who brings the best out of Ace Romero, you'd have to say?
Uh, hmm, I would just say any of my friends. Anyone I get lucky to work with, like Anthony Greene or JT Dunn, or Sammy, like, people like that, man. Hazard 23, 23 Hazard.
Mhm.
Those are some good guys I've had the opportunity to wrestle and learn from and create with, and um, those guys have some of my favorite matches.
Yeah. You talk about one of the best moments for your career was that first TNA match you had that going viral, especially for you. Is there a match so far that you'd say in your career defines your career? Or is that one still to come, or what would you say?
I can't think of a match.
Okay.
Just because, like, it's like, when I go out to wrestle, I don't think about having like the best 5-star match. I think
Yeah.
about having the best moment of the show. So all the big moments that we talked about in my career, um, those are the ones that stands up for me. Those are the ones that people remember. I don't ever go out there because to try to have this 5-star crazy match, because at the end of the day, like, people are gonna forget what you do. You're only as good as your last match.
Yeah.
So I just try all the moments that I've been lucky to have in my career are the ones that, if people think about Ace Romero, hopefully they remember me by those moments.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've ended every interview the same now. The day you decide it's all done, what do you want the legacy of Ace Romero to be?
I would like for people to think that, I was somebody who didn't necessarily fit the mold of what you think a pro wrestler would be or should be. Um, One of the most athletic big men to ever wrestle in New England or around the world. But as far as being in New England at home, like, I like to go down as, people thinking I was one of the best big guys that ever did it.
Yeah. Well, Ace, like I said, man, I can't thank you enough. I've known you since I was like 12 years old, gonna play Fortnite, draw pictures, even get to chat with you. Thank you for all you've done. You've been killing it, and there's still so much more. Like brand new EWA heavyweight champion. Like you've so much more to do.
Yeah, thank you. I actually lost that championship belt.
Oh,
One show I had it.
damn. Who'd you lose it to?
Hazard,
Oh, damn.
our paper champion, dude. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But I'm excited, Ace. Seriously, thank you, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this, and thank you everybody for watching this episode. This was Best for Business.
Thank you for watching this episode of Best for Business. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, because this is Best for Business.